What do you do here?
I shove. Snap fold or dwell call. There's no other option here. Harry Bouts is also kind of aggressive, but not against anyone else. Like, I say this to people, oh, I've seen Harry Bout turn up with this, that, the other, and then people that also play in the pool are like, I've never seen him turn up with anything other than nuts. So, but against me, he does turn up with some random stuff. So
yeah, well, you're a streamer. There's definitely going to be like different level against you for sure. I think it's very legit that he could be a different player against you than someone else. All right, you call, fine. He bets, you call. Guessing you would never do anything else. He bets again. It's not great, but
no, it's not great, is it?
I don't think we got this far to fold just yet.
Yeah,
not a great spot. What do you think?
I mean, it's just a bluff catcher, so I don't like calling rivers at 25-0 when the backdoor flush draw comes on the turn and then the river is not. So this, I would rather call on the jack of hearts here because I think people shut down the ace king with a heart and ace queen with a heart here on the river. Basically, I'm just in my own head 24/7, which is why I've struggled to like enjoy the game as much as I used to. I spend more time worrying about what people think that I'm doing and what they think they should do against me rather than actually what's actually logical. I know that's incorrect, but I basically struggle to adapt. So I think here, like, I give a little bit too much credit because the turns are wheel. Like, I feel like you can still barrel the turn with like ace queen off, ace king off without a heart because you do have a gut shot and two overcards, obviously, that are probably clean. And then if you do barrel the turn with those hands that don't have a heart in them, you kind of just have to follow through the river, right? Because the heart didn't get there. So if the turn was a 6, for example, I don't think I would ever call here.
My thoughts, I don't disagree with anything you're saying, but it doesn't answer the whole picture. Ultimately, I would still fold the situation, even though your logics are true. And I would just call a better hand to call with, right? So give me 6-5, give me 6-6, because these hands block some value. I don't think you block any value here. No one really goes bet shove.
Tens.
I don't think people go bet shove with tens. I feel like they check somewhere.
Jack 10.
Jack 10 doesn't bet turns, way too thin. So if we don't block Jack 10, we don't block pocket tens. I think in human land people don't bet the turn with tens. I think they see the turn being really bad for them, and then they have top set, and it's just like humans check. Just how people play, right? It's like how often do you see people go bet shove with top set of aces? No one, because everyone, or quads, people just love trapping quads or top set, rightly or wrongly. So I don't think you've got any blockers to tens, and even if you do, it's one combo. Jack 10,
but like
you don't
if he did
block.
have tens, like if he did have tens, then like the wheel turn might be a card that he wants to bet on, just because. I mean, it's only one combo, but like he might bet the wheel turn because he doesn't want to give a free card to like an ace to the wheel, kind of thing.
Well, there's the complete opposite logic, which I think people follow as well, which is that they've got top set and it's a really bad turn, so they want to protect their checking range, and top set seems like the ultimate way to do that.
You're absolutely right. I'm just trying to fight my corner.
Well, to be fair, I don't know if I'm right. Like that, I'm projecting as you are, so you're projecting what you might do. I'm projecting what I might do. The way I see this is that what's the worst turn of the deck? It's got to be a 5. It's got to be exactly a 5. I think is the worst turn, I believe. With that, plus having top set, I would just auto put that in my check range. But anyway, even if you are right, it's just one combo here, and that's not going to break the bank. So I would just call a different hand. And also, people may not fire those ace queen, ace kings enough of the time as to what you need them to do, and they won't have enough other hands either, right? Like king queen doesn't barrel the turn, they kind of need something extra to go with it. So I would just muck this and I call it a different hand. Basically, when it's a bad turn for them, you typically have loads of good bluff catchers. It's a really common trend. It's really hard for it to be a really good spot for you, but to also lack good bluff catchers, right? Okay. One comes with the other. So this doesn't seem like a great one, but 6-5 seems better, ace-5 seems better, 6-6 seems better, 7-7 seems better. You get the idea, right? I think these hands, they just like perform a little bit better than this. Queen Jack of Hearts potentially can perform better, because I do think you block jacks with Queen Jack, but I don't think you block the tens with the 10-9. So yeah, I would just muck this one, to be honest. Feel like you pressed call here.
I did say I pressed call, yeah.
Okay. Oh, you did,
earlier on.
He shows you kings.
But yeah, if you didn't hear me then, yeah. Shock.
Yeah, this one of the 3 so far felt like one that was a little bit punty. I feel like this one you could get away from. I
mean, I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying like what's going on. This is exhibit A of my struggles with poker right now. Like I would never call this anonymous ever in a million years.
Just the levels of streaming.
I just can't. I just hate feeling like I'm there all day against the same players, folding every spot and having them see that I'm folding every spot. It makes me like really anxious that I'm getting bluffed everywhere. And then when they just keep piling it, I'm just like, I've surely just got to call one of these hands eventually. Like, but if I was anonymous or I was off stream and I was like playing with, you know, people not knowing who I was, then I would just fold here. I wouldn't even think about it. But then it doesn't make any sense that I fold the last hand. Like, basically, I'm just like not thinking about the right things ever.
I think what you need to do, just speaking very generally here, is have a very simple theory-driven game plan, because not doing that is too difficult for you where you're on stream, and it's not practical to have a very like highly exploitative game plan and then broadcast it to a small pool, because you just open yourself up. Instead, even though the players in your pool are not playing very theoretically, I feel like you force yourself into that corner that you kind of have to. I'm not someone that actually loves playing theoretically. I do both, but naturally, if you're in a much smaller pool and you're streaming often, then I just think you have to. I mean, you could. It's a
good job my knowledge of theory is so deep then.
The alternative would be to be very, very exploitative, but that's tricky. Like that's a really
so hard. Well, then I'd just be in my own head anyway.
Yeah, and
you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right.
If you can't do the exploitative side, because it sounds like you've tried and it's not worked out, then I think you have to just come back on yourself a bit, make things simple, make things like theoretical. That will at least protect yourself more than this, which is making a bad fold on the last hand, making a bad call here because you're in your own. At this point, you're facing two players. At this point, you're facing Hairy Bat and then Eastyyy. 5-4.
This is why I'm here. You know, to get sensei knowledge.
Big squeeze.
We go for this squeeze.
Love it.
Yeah, everyone's quite deep, so. Jayhawks is a button hunter, so he's watching and probably just way overcalling this button.
Cool. Range bet, or what's your strat here?
Yeah, I'm just gonna bet always.
Really?
I'm gonna bet always, like looking at it now.
Right.
But I tell you exactly what I'm thinking here is that this guy's never going to fold enough for me to be able to just bet here with such little equity. Therefore, I can't be asked. I'm just going to check, which is terrible. But that's I guarantee you that's what I thought.
All right. There's two things. The first one is if you bet really small here, let's say you bet 7 big blinds, whatever your hotkey is. Your hotkey is somewhere between quarter and a third. I saw in the first hand. Right. What is that? 29.
27.
Yeah, 27. Okay, same as mine. So if you bet, I know 27 needs to work 21% of the time, right? So it's pretty. The onus is definitely on him to defend that much of the time. He's got to defend 79%, only fold 21. He might not do that. Even if someone defends a lot, he might not reach that threshold still. Secondly, I actually think in theory that you're not supposed to range bet here. When you squeeze, it's a much different situation naturally to when you 3-bet, just big blind versus button, because the button can call much wider knowing that he closes the action on every street. But pre-flop, he may call, and then the small blind may do some back shoves or may do something. So when you are facing a guy who called a squeeze, not closing action, he always has a stronger range.
Yeah, but it's definitely weakened by the fact that he wants to play with me.
Yeah, okay, fine. Yeah. Ultimately, I don't think it matters too much as to what you do on the flop. Turn and open ender, I think there's one decision here, which is the bet, and then the question is how much, right?
Well, not all in, but like I'm going to probably press 2E here, I imagine. I don't remember clearly because I don't remember what I did on flop, but if I'm looking at it now, I would probably just 2E this turn.
Okay.
Because I will have traps against this guy on flop if I'm checking at all.
So this must be that. Cool.
Yeah, it's 2E.
River, it's all she wrote. You unblock a bunch of folds here. It's got to be. Like, Nick, we can't sit here with 5 high. You're on stream. No. You've just told me about how... Yeah, go ahead.
Also, though, like the reason that I brought this hand is because like the 3 is like the least appetizing thing to bluff like you've ever seen in terms of getting somebody to fold a 10 here when I've checked the flop. It just feels like if I'm in the situation, I'll be like absolutely convinced for one reason or another, rightly or wrongly, that this ain't ever going to work. And that's probably why I ended up shoving. See, this is the thing. Like, I'm not even thinking about the game. Like, I'm thinking, like, I know that he's watching me, and I know that he knows that I hate bluffing these spots. I hate bluffing when the board runs out in a really bricky way where, in a human sense, I'm not going to want to bluff it because he knows what mood I'm in, and I'm like, well, this guy's just going to call all the time, so I'm never going to bluff this spot. I also know that he knows that I don't bluff very often. Basically, every single decision that I'm making in the game is based off a level and not based off of whether I think my hand has got good properties or not, or whether what their range looks like, etc. It's all just complete nonsense and waffle.
In a perfect world, I think you should have a bit of both in there. Healthy amounts of strategy, because even levels and levels and levels, there are just objective truths here, which are that he's going to fold diamonds, so having diamonds is bad, right? There's just like things like that which we can't ignore. Yeah. And at the same time, there are levels because you are on stream, and he may have reads as to how you feel about the spot, and if he thinks that you don't like bluffing, then bluffing should do quite well, etc. So I think it makes sense to have both of these. I would just sit here and say, look, I'm not going to arrive to the turn with much else to bluff with instead, because having a hand like King Queen doesn't feel great here, because you are blocking his folding range in quite a few ways. You are blocking his Ace King that he might have.
Does he call Ace King on turn?
Yeah, I feel like he can, because he's got nut no pair here. You're not bluffing with a pair very often, or ever. So I think Ace King can call turn. Depends on suits. I don't think you don't have a diamond here. But like Ace King can call, King Queen can call, Queen 9 can call, obviously diamonds can call. Those together, like Queen 9 of diamonds and King 9 of diamonds, the time he does a bit of flop, he doesn't always have to bet flop. So all of these hands are pretty straightforward folds, and we just don't interact with them at all. And your bet, even though it's a lot of big blinds, doesn't have to be that successful here to get through, because the pot's also really big. So your bet needs to work like, what, 54, 55% of the time?
You told me that before I chuffed, then I probably wouldn't have done it.
That's if you account for all of his diamonds and 9/8s and Queen 9s and King Queens and Ace Kings, and
surely 9/8 can't just call 38 big blinds on the turn.
Maybe not, but I think humans do. Against you as well. I don't think he calls pre to check back flop to fold the turn against streamer. I think he just calls and then obviously folds river. So there's just so many hands that will auto fold here that you clear out by shoving. And if he does have King Jack and Ace Jack and makes a good call, then kudos to him. What do you do here?
I shove. Thankfully, otherwise I think the comments are going to murder me anyway. I deserve it. But we get it through. Like, we get the snap call, or we just get like the duel call. Like, we never get anything else. The snap fold or duel call. There's no other option here.
I was actually going to ask you, do you remember how quickly he folded? Because if
he snap folded. Yeah.
Okay, fine. So he had some sort of misdraw. If he tank folds, it's really good for you.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. It's not going to happen.
Right, last hand, Ace 10, open, super deep as well, RK
Broly, and I don't know who this is.
All right, so unknown player, may or may not know who you are. When you stream, you've got some like badge against your name, so even if he doesn't, he still...
And a face.
And a face,
dumb face.
So he still has like some sense that you're a special player in the pool.
Yeah, they made sure of that.
Check.
Oh, this hand is just...
40% from villain, we raise, okay. I'm not going to be hypercritical here. I was going to say you could raise bigger, but these things don't really matter much. I feel like, though, when you are raising, I don't think you're raising with pocket jacks and pocket queens ever, right?
Probably not.
When you're this deep, it seems like a dicey game to do that. So, like, you can have 9/8 as a semi-bluff here, pocket 8s as a semi-bluff. Basically, your range is really strong, so I feel like it makes sense to raise a bit bigger, but it doesn't really matter that much, to be honest. So let's just say that you raise and you've got a load of good hands, pretty great turn, you check. Seems okay.
I think I'm checking range here, maybe. I might be.
I don't think you should check range, to be honest.
Okay. I think I will be. I'm just saying like what I would have done, just so you know where I'm at in the hand. I think these turns I usually will just do a bunch of range checking, because like I don't have a straight, and most of my good hands got reduced. So and obviously if he has what he usually has, which is like jacks through aces, then this card is just amazing for them. So I think I just am playing range check here.
Okay.
Rightly or wrongly.
Like a quick jump into strategy then. So I think like you make a good point. The turn is not good for you, definitely. But a hand like 9/8 now has definitely gone down in hand strength. So yeah, you make a good point that it's a bit less likely for you to have value, but your range is so strong. So if you can think about this raise as like a really, really powerful play, and then you get a bad turn, that turn doesn't rid you of all of your power, right?
Okay.
Your power is reduced, but not to a point that you're range checking. So what you want to do is like contemplate how much power do you have here and how much power do you lose. If you think you lose so much, then you should range check. But there is a certain science to it. And if you've got loads and loads of power, like who has more two pair? You do. Who has more sets? You do. Who has more junk? He does. And then who raised? You did. So you've got a really good case going. That doesn't get removed entirely.
So some 6/5 here.
Yeah. You got some 6/5. You got some 6-7, which is still the two combos that it was on the flop. You got pocket 9s, pocket 7s. In that case, it's a great turn. So it's just like a generic, not good turn, going to polarize, as opposed to not good turn, going to range check.
Okay, sure.
Right. You
Sounds
check.
good.
He bets third pot. Do you ever play raise here?
I feel like I just have a really good price on call. I don't know, like what I would actually check raise here. I imagine I would check raise from some very good hands. So I'm going to need some bluffs. Like if I had 6-5 here and I range checked, I would definitely check raise the turn. So
okay, then it seems like a
I don't know
raise.
whether this fixes.
There's two things I want to talk to you about with it sucks if you get shoved into.
Yeah.
It doesn't for two reasons.
Nothing's happened yet.
The first point I wanted to say is if he shoves into you, he's just got the nuts or like a really strong hand. And at that point,
Okay.
you're actually just getting out of jail for a slightly cheaper price, right? Because you're obviously not going to call, and had you raised bigger, you'd have lost even more. So that doesn't matter because he doesn't bluff you. It's a problem if he starts bluffing you, but when you hold an ace and a 10, he can't possibly bluff you because that's the only two cards he can bluff you with. And secondly, more importantly, EVs are separated by decision. So yes, you might end up raising to 60 blinds and have to fold, but it doesn't mean that your 60 blind raise was a bad play. If you raise and he shoves, it doesn't matter. It doesn't change your decision on raising here. So I would just do both. Therefore, I think calling is never bad, right? You just get direct odds to hit your outs. And raising can also never be bad as well because it's really hard for imposition here to fold with your cards. If imposition has 10 of hearts and you raise a 60, or 8 of hearts and you raise a 60, it's really hard for him to do anything else but call or raise, which means you block the continues, which is really good because you want him to fold, obviously. Yep, I would raise or call. Wow, interesting. You check, he shoves. Oh, you donk. Okay, makes sense.
I think he checks so often when I check that I would rather just bet. Like I feel like at least at this level, when I check, he'll snap check over pairs here, like without a shadow of a doubt. And I think he'll rarely fold when I block. And I think over pairs are obviously his most likely hands. So I would just rather donk.
All right. Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't think we're really targeting overpairs, though. I'm targeting a range of hands like a river 10, to be honest with you. Like the times he's got 10-9, pocket 10s, maybe occasional jack 10. Because I don't think jack 10, I know it's a super straight, but how can jack 10 bet the river when you have some flushes and loads of boats? Yeah. So I feel like your donk is not targeting a king or two kings, but a hand like king 10 of spades. I think that's a pretty reasonable showdown for king 10 of spades here, right?
Yeah.
He bets flop, can't fold, bets turn, call, definitely checks the river, but now you put him in a tough spot. I think that's what your goal here is.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he shoves, it's so weird. So incredibly weird. Okay, I'm going to ask you a question. Remember on the first hand, we had the implications of fold, right? Let's do that same logic here. So you're getting 27% odds, and he is shoving a boat or better. Do you think you beat a hand like king queen of hearts here? Although I don't think he's even got king queen of hearts because he would just fold the flop, right, to your raise.
Yeah, it's kind of tough for him to have a flush in retrospect.
Yeah, so if we can assume that we are bluff catching, right? Do you agree that we're bluff catching here? Because I think we are.
I think in game I may have given him some flushes that he can't have.
Fine.
Maybe he has something like king 9 of hearts.
Yeah, could have. It's marginal with the raise pre, but okay, I could see that. Fine. So he's going to have very occasional. You're talking exclusively king 9 of hearts at that point. I don't see any other hands.
Yeah, he's got a straight flush as well.
Yeah. No, he can't. With he can have the 4-5. Yeah, 4-5. Okay, so you've got one combo that you beat that he might shove. Apart from that, let's just say you're losing to his shove, so you can't beat any other hands.
Yeah,
there's no hand that he's value shoving and you're beating.
Yeah, I think in game I said, oh well, surely he can have king queen of hearts, so maybe that sways me. I think that's what I might have said actually.
Yeah. Okay, that's the nature of the game. Sometimes you're gonna miscalculate things. It's hard when there's a lot of action in the hand, right? Cool. So we get 27%, which means he needs to have a boat or better 73% of the time. So let's just kind of like try and count those. You've got some amount of pocket 7s and pocket 8s. The time, like, it's low frequency. Maybe he doesn't raise those pre, but like if he does have 7s and 8s, it does make sense for him to bet call the flop. It does make sense for him to sometimes bet the turn. I think maybe not 8s, but I think 7s obviously. So you've got some 7s, some 8s, some 9s, and then some 6-7. So there's not much, right? You got 3 combos 9s. 3 combo 7s and 8s, 2 combo 7-6. Obviously, they're all reduced based on like how the hand is played. So there's not much value, and then you do have the 4-5 of hearts, as you said as well. On the other side of things, what the hell are you beating? Like also,
Yeah.
not much. / Eddie.
Woski's gonna bluff. He has to bluff like 10-9.
Yeah. He has to bluff 10-9. He has to get really fancy. Like, okay, the only bluff I could see that seems really legit here is 8-7. Seems like a super sick one. That's it. I can't see any other hands, and 9-8 for that matter. So you could have 9-8, 8-7. Yeah, but 10-9 blocks some folds, I feel like. I don't know if you'd actually donk a straight, but 10-9 seems like it's if you have a 7 or an 8, you have to have a boat here. Whereas if you've got a 10, you can have a fold. So even though you lose to so few value, I would still just fold, because I just don't see the bluffs here. If he has blue 8-7, then he deserves to win the hand. If you do miscalculate and give them some hands they can't have, then that's unfortunate. But yeah, we should not be beating King Queen here. It might not even shove the river. He has a boat. There's a boat. Yeah, bad luck.
Shock.
It's tough.
Basically picked all the wrong ones in here. That's why I brought them though. I don't want to bring hands that were like good. There aren't many anyway.
They're all horrible, tough to play hands. If we quickly jump back through the hands, so this one we quite like calling, ultimately, right? We're okay with that?
Yeah.
Fine.
This one we're okay with.
Yeah, I think
Shock
it's just
nuts.
Cool, move on, sucks, whatever.
Yeah.
Kings, we should stick to the script.
Yeah, the script was not stuck to.
Correct. You made the script as well, so like, you know, this is not...
I'm interested to see if I go look back and see what I actually was thinking about the river.
10-9, I reckon we can just find better bluff catchers here with your range.
Well, you said punt earlier, so like you'd have to dress it up.
It's trying to be nice.
No.
Okay, 5-4.
Shock.
This one is
like
good.
This one.
Yeah, this one is good. You can't not do this. There are enough snap folds in the guy's range. Last hand, ace 10. It's a tough one. It's definitely, like, you even block the 10 out of hearts, you know. It's a tough fold. It's a really tough fold. And I definitely don't expect many players to make a fold like this. But I think once you realize he doesn't have the other Broadway flushes, apart from exactly King 9, and then you see how impossibly hard it is for him to have a bluff here, because the bluff is really ace of hearts at this point. Yeah, I would fold.
Yeah,
but it's a tough one. It's a tough one.
It's not very good, I don't think, this one.
Cool.
It's all very bad.
How do you feel like that was?
The hands are okay.
Yeah, hands were good. I just don't want to come across as like too mean in the analysis.
Oh, no, absolutely. Don't worry about that. Mina would have been absolutely fine. Ben absolutely dressed me down on stream the other day.
All right, guys, that's going to wrap up today's review. Nick, those were tough hands, to be honest. To be fair, I want to give a disclaimer here. Even though we disagreed on a few of the hands, if I were playing the hands, I may have very well made the same mistakes. Like, it's the 20/20 hindsight is always going to happen in these videos, right? But had I played these hands, I may have not got away from them. I may have, for example, sat there. I could definitely see myself, by the way, sitting there with the 10-9 of clubs and just calling for the ace kings, ace queens. So hindsight's always 20/20 in post review, but they were good hands. They were enjoyable hands, and I enjoyed reviewing them.
No, just thanks a lot for your time. And I don't do a lot of review, so I don't do any review. So looking back at a few hands and like having a bit of post session clarity in terms of like, oh, I'm actually looking at the hand for what it's worth 100% more than I am when I'm in game. So maybe that can help me moving forward. So yeah, appreciate it.
Well, guys, we're going to do a similar video on Nick's channel. I'm going to join him for 25 hands. It's going to be much more of a quick fire review compared to today's deeper dive. So link will be in the description to Nick's channel, and still feel free to keep your eyes peeled for that video in the future. Nick, it's been a pleasure having you on today. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time in your review.